We'll go on to our next topic. Alan, I'm going to go down the line.
All right, so this week, Yukiko and I watched this movie Ex Machina, which is about artificial intelligence. That's all I'll tell you about the premise of the movie. And it got me thinking about what aspect of the future, because people say that AI for sure will be around in our lifetime. What aspect of the future do you fear the most? Because I think artificial intelligence is a good one to be afraid of. So I'll just go around. Clay, in my dynamic view of Skype, your
Yeah.
picture is biggest right now, so I'm going to start with you.
Okay. Well, I think AI is pretty scary to a lot of people because they fear that it will become sentient and think that the most efficient way to do their job is to kill humans. But I have a hard time wrapping my head and believing that that is actually will be the case. I just think we're smarter than that, and I think there's a lot more that goes into having an AI actually be capable of killing someone. And because we're the humans programming it, we have like, I don't know who it is, but it's like the robot laws. One, a robot shall not hurt a human. Two, a robot must do everything a human says. Three, a robot can follow rule two as long as it doesn't break rule one. And I think that pretty much covers everything.
This
I
is,
just
Isaac Asimov's law
yes,
of
thank you.
yeah.
It's like
I feel like Isaacs are just smart people.
I'm gonna
So
name my son
they make
Isaac.
or they just like, or they're like really bossy and they make a lot of rules. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. But yeah. So
One or the other.
yeah, AI doesn't necessarily scare me. I think recently the most recent kind of fear I had was the idea of nuclear weapons getting in the hands of the wrong person. Up until now, nukes have been really hard to create. You need a lot of resources to do so. But as things get smaller and smaller, and we're capable of doing greater and greater destruction, I'm more and more fearful that it's going to be easier and easier to create a nuke. And it's not even like North Korea really, because I actually don't think a country might do that. Like, I don't think whatever his name is, Kim Jong-il is like stupid enough to do something like that, to just destroy the economy and then have to like, maybe he's crazy, but like I'm actually more worried about like crazy terrorists. You look at like what
small cell getting the materials.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You look at the Boston bombing, and it's probably what the most money they were able to spend on bombing. I question if they had the resources, if it was capable of getting a nuclear weapon like in their hands, or something even half the size of that, what that would look like. And if it's getting easier and easier, if like things like ISIS are
Yeah,
just,
I wonder if it's actually is that easy to grab the components for nuclear weapons though.
Not
I'm sure
now,
it's
I don't
possible
think.
for big weapons, but I feel like
Right.
because it's
Not-
limited by
for an
actual
atom.
resources, right?
right.
By,
It is
like,
now.
It's a naturally occurring element on Earth, right?
Right. And
So
I think
there
this
is
is,
a limited amount of it.
I think so. I don't know. I have to do more research,
I
but
always thought nuclear was just splitting atoms. I mean, not
Well, it
just.
depends on what kind of atom, and then you also need something that's like powerful enough to split it for you.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
right. And so
Bears.
Bears. So after watching like Metal Gear 5, because like Metal Gear, the game is really about like having these nuclear weapons and like the selling and like all that stuff. And so just kind of scared, like, because these guys are crazy, and if they ever did have their hands on something as destructible as an atom bomb or a nuclear bomb, like, I don't think they would hesitate to use it, honestly. And if they were to like attack, like, God, could you imagine like, I don't even. You think about what 9/11 did, and it was like, meh. It was like, emotionally it hurt, but it didn't really hit us too hard financially, and like, but taking out like multiple cities via nuke, like, holy crap,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that'd be devastating.
A nuke that detonated, I think, either in a major city or above a major city, I think would be. I mean, that would spell all-out war, I think. No matter
Right.
what.
Yeah, that would just change the game. And so I think that's my biggest fear. I feel like we've gotten over this like whole world warless country issue of like seeing a nuke attack, like country use it against, because that's just dumb. No one, morally speaking, I don't think anybody's capable of doing that. But like these guys have different morals and they're kind of extremists, so I would be fearful of them doing something like that.
I just don't understand why people would do that in the first place. Like send a nuke over. And another thing too is like, you know, like they send a nuke over to us, and as they're sending it over, it takes a while to get here. Then they're like, we're like sitting here like, okay, well fuck that, we'll send a nuke back. So no, we're doing exactly what they're doing. They're gonna kill like millions of people, and we're gonna kill
No, I
millions
don't.
of people.
I don't think we'd even do that. I mean, think about it, because like a lot of these extremists are in countries that like that. I mean, is that right? Like, I don't know. You're gonna just bomb Syria because
Yeah,
there's a
if it was somebody
dumbass in
like
Syria?
Russia, then yeah, we'd have a target to shoot back at. But if it's like
Well,
some
Some
small,
extremist.
yeah, extremist group,
Yeah.
then don't know where to like really send the nuke to retaliate.
Yeah.
We were the only ones that dropped an actual nuke on.
Yeah.
And Steve,
Yeah.
you're presuming that this is going to be a nuke launch from a place. I am thinking that the nuke is built in the U.S. and it's
Oh,
just,
okay.
you know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
just like 9/11 where they used our own stuff against us. It would make much more sense for them, like financially, to just infiltrate our stuff and
Yeah.
find a way to.
If they
You know what I
wanted to
mean?
go to war with somebody, yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot more. There's like a large. I don't know. That's just the one thing. I'm like, oh god, if that were to ever happen, that would be crazy.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I guess my fear would be of the future. Of course, Clay, that's a pretty damn big fear. You make me think about that now. But I would think just how drones and cameras are popping up everywhere, that there's pretty much going to be no privacy at all. Like, I feel like whenever you walk down the street, you're being video camera. Like, there's video camera watching you. So every little thing you do wrong, and then eventually, you know, just technology catching up to us, where you just get in trouble for every little thing. Like stealing a piece of candy, they're like, oh, you get a ticket in the mail, $100. You know, where it's just constantly hitting you on whatever. If you go 1 mile over the speed limit, boom, you get a ticket in the mail. Like, and you just have no privacy at all. So that's kind of my fear, I guess, of the future, as well as nukes by extremists.
Yeah.
So
What about it? What about your privacy is so sacred?
I mean, there's nothing like I do crazy. It's just
What's in your browser history?
Yeah. What porn are you looking at that you don't want Big Brother to see?
Yeah.
You want me to start with A, like alphabetical? Or
There's a long list, buddy.
No,
I don't know, like, cause there's some I don't know what it is. I guess I find some comfort in that. Like I'm willing to test the boundaries of our privacy if it means I get Amazon Prime drone shit to me the same day I order it. Pretty fucking cool.
Well, think about
Pretty
this.
cool.
Wherever you go, you're constantly videotaped. Like that, I don't like that. I just don't like that thought that, and someone sitting there watching me and just having Big Brother over your shoulder. I'm not a big fan of that.
So that's so like okay, so that specific thing never bothered me, and I don't know why, and that's why I think I'm just like so
You've already
enamored
lost,
with.
Clay. The machines have beaten you.
But like,
Yep.
you want
Either
to.
one.
Okay.
You want to watch me pick my nose and fart and like, cool, sucks for you. like I'm not doing like what could you possibly watch? I guess I'm just really secure in everything that I do. I'm not ashamed or afraid. Like I
Neither
farted.
am I. I mean,
There you go.
yeah,
like I've been eating ravioli all
I
night
farted.
watching Netflix.
I mean,
Yeah, like
megabytes
yeah,
until
like
3 a.m.
yeah. My
Well,
browser
okay,
history is
that sounds
Facebook, YouTube Fantasy,
Yeah.
Facebook, Google. How do you blah blah blah? Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
I mean,
I
yeah,
could
they're
care
for
less
sure
about
looking
that.
for the people that are like building nuclear bombs at home. You know,
Mhm. Right.
that's a big part of it. But I feel like, you know, on their phones and Google and everything, they always have all your data. Like,
Yeah.
so your search patterns, what you search for, they even, Yukiko just showed me this recently, anything you've said to your phone. So if you
Yeah.
like say, hey Google, look for this, or Siri or whatever, they have
Yeah.
recordings of your voice saying all that stuff actually
crazy.
on Google's website.
Yeah.
So anytime
Oh,
you've
really?
ever said that, yeah, they have it, and you can find it. You can listen to everything you've ever said to it.
Wow.
What?
And
Crazy.
I think that's weird, just because they use that information to shape like advertising
Yes.
and everything, like targeted advertising, which is like really annoying more than anything to me. Like, yeah, it's easy to just look at it and be like, ah, like so annoying, like clothes or whatever. But it's just
Right.
like the fact that they're trying to like know you when it's like it's almost like an AI thing, like a computer is like trying to figure you out based on your like search history, but like that's not necessarily 100% snapshot of what a person is like.
It's really it's an uncanny feeling because on paper it sounds like a great idea, but in execution it fails to an offensive way. Because I get like I see it and I get offended that it's like, hey, I saw you were looking at skirts. You like skirts? Here's a bunch of new skirts. I was like, motherfucker, I was getting a present for my wife. Get out of here. I don't want to see this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
This one website specifically I bought something from is like in every ad I ever go to, and I got like a gift for Yukiko one time, and I'm just
yeah,
like, dude, like I don't need this now. Like,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I get offended on that stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I'm just worried about how that in general like can like the media, not media, like like it could be used for like propaganda though, almost, you know?
Yeah,
Now that they have like a snapshot of what people are like looking for, they can put in more subliminal stuff into the ads that end up showing to you that somehow might work. I mean, there's lots of steps I think that would require them for that to be successful, but I just feel like the idea behind it is feasible if they have this sort of like constant updates from your phone or your Google or whatever.
yeah. What about the positives behind it though?
The good thing is it's probably convenient when you want to like look for stuff.
Right.
Obviously, it kind of is going to know what you've looked for in the past, your search history, purchase history, things like that. I mean, I could see the convenience of it.
Well, and speaking of that, actually, when I was looking for my truck, you know, I was online looking a lot, and I kept seeing advertisements for like vehicles, like used vehicles and stuff.
Right.
And I actually started clicking on, like, oh, that looks cool, you know. And
Right.
so that was convenient. But then again, I sat there and I looked on my computer at my house, and then I'm driving with my wife. She's driving, and I pull up my phone and I go to Google, and it's advertised on my phone. I'm like, I didn't even fucking look at it on my phone. What the
Wow.
hell? You know, so I thought that
Yeah.
was kind of weird that happened a few years ago. And
Yeah.
It's intrusive.
That's one thing that is like I thought was really freaky the very first time it happened to me was on my phone. I have like an iPhone, and when I like swipe down to just, you know, they have the weather app built into it when you're just checking the weather. Like about a year ago, it said, hey, it'll take you. There's like light traffic. It'll take you 10 minutes to get to this address, because it's where I work.
Yeah.
But I never have my GPS turned on my phone. It's not on because it's in Canada and I have a Verizon like wireless, so still somehow it's mapping my location that every morning at like 9 a.m. I walk to this place because it only shows me that update like around that time in the morning, which I
Yeah,
thought
same
was
here.
really, really freaky.
It was freaky.
'Cause,
But
yeah.
but after I got over that freaking, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, 10 minutes, that's pretty good. I should leave.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is cool, but it totally freaked me out. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't even have my GPS turned on, which is the weird thing. So they're still tracking it despite you saying, "Hey, I don't want to be tracked right now."
Yeah.
well, speaking of which, just like Facebook, I took it off my phone because I sat there and pulled it up one day, and there's a map of everywhere I'd been, like in down here in Florida. I was like, what the hell? So, and then like I had friends checking me in here. I'm like, why does everyone need to know where I'm at every second of the day? You
Right.
know,
But why does that? So I'm just very curious of like maybe it's the human condition, like why that bothers you, because it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I know some people are just very particular, like
Okay,
like
say
they
somebody
don't.
did not like you though, Clay.
Right.
Say somebody really hated you,
Okay.
Yeah.
and they did
Oh.
want to find you.
Oh,
They
okay, I
could
see.
find you like that,
Yeah. So they would
Yeah.
beat me up, take my lunch money,
Right.
or
What
kill
if I-
you, or whatever.
or kill me. Right.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
I see.
What-
I see.
Or they
What if
see
you
like
were
a pattern. They're like, okay, I know that at this time of the day he drives on this road by himself because like it's like not
Ooh,
very
okay.
traveled, you know. And then they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm waiting for him there, you know.
Oh, man.
Boom, they get you on this like dirt road where nobody's at.
Or they wait for you to leave your house because
Or
they
they wait-
know they
yeah,
have this
exactly.
information. They steal your
You know,
stuff.
you leave at 5:30 a.m. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Oh, that is
Yeah,
freaky.
It is a little. I think that's just like the little freaky part about it.
Yeah, and then think about this. You know, you probably had plans with some friends, and you're running behind. You're like, "Oh, hey, I'm on my way." They get on Facebook. They're like, "He hasn't even fucking left his house yet." Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's you
Well, that's
lying.
your fault, yeah.
Yeah, that's you lying.
What?
And see, that's where I go when people are like, I don't like when they tell me. I'm like, well, what are you hiding? Like, what are you hiding? Like, what is this that you want, like, to cover up?
I think it's the availability of that information. Like, yeah, your friends that see it, like, who gives a shit? But if like somebody that you don't want to see that information, you
Yeah.
know, found it, it's like easily out there for them to get.
Yeah, and that's why I said that the like pharmacists that I've worked with don't have like Facebooks at all, because their names are posted, their first and last names are posted right there. Like, meet your pharmacist, and it says so and so. It's like they can go look them up on Facebook, find out their address where they want to live, and then just go there. You know what I mean? Like, if they didn't
Yeah.
like them, like, say, oh, you didn't give me my oxycodone, well, I'm gonna fucking find you or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
sketchy people. Yep.
I don't know. That's where
Yeah.
the privacy thing comes in. If someone really wants to find you, they'll find you.
The other problem is that I don't trust people. I guess is where it all lies. It's like I don't know what they're gonna do with that information to possibly harm me or take something from me.
I think that it's a little weird. I think the scary parts are that we don't really have full control over it. We don't understand what we can and cannot control, or really the systems entirely. So that's always frightening. And then the fact that like Google and all these companies really are profiting off of our stuff. It would be nice to somehow visualize what we're getting out of it, because it feels like we're just being taken advantage a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
Good. Alan.
Oh, well, I was gonna say one of the good things, just back because you were like looking for cars and or trucks, Ian, was that by having this information on what people are interested in, companies can shape what sort of products they make based on that sort of information, which could be helpful. Like,
Right.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
also kind of weird if you're like, oh, I really wish this had this thing, and then all of a sudden, like next year, this has the feature that you wanted. You're like, huh, interesting. But I think that is nice that they can really cater to what the general population is interested in at that time.
Yeah, but that comes with a con too, because as
Yes.
in a profession that gets a ton of feedback from various different people, like we have to learn how to filter that feedback. So
Yeah.
I would always be concerned that like, well, this is what people are clamoring for, but what I've learned is that what people want doesn't, like, what they ask for is not need or want,
Yeah,
really. Right? It could be something else that they want, or like it's a good thing that they want this and that they don't have it, because if they did, everything would fall apart. So that would be my
Assuming they have some smart analyst for marketing, they can do that for them.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really like interesting to think about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't fear that people will become like, I don't like the people are like, oh, you know, all these phones, all this technology, people are becoming unsocial. It's like, no, it's false. If anything, they're becoming more social, or parallel. Like, I love this image of a modern day everybody on a bus, and their heads are deep in their phones, their smartphones. And then in contrast, it shows a picture of like 1940 Chicago and everybody on the bus, and their faces are face deep in newspapers. Like, there's just people want information and want to be entertained. They don't necessarily need to talk all the time. And so, like, look, this is what we do as humans. We need to like kind of regenerate our batteries and like just kind of be unsocial.
Slightly disagree.
Okay.
I slightly agree with you. Like, I've seen the same comparison image before, and like people just want to read the information. But I do think, and this is coming from somebody who likes their own personal time and like doesn't want to have to like talk to somebody every time you get in like a public place. But I feel like by reading about it or absorbing it through information, it detaches you from the human aspect between people. So like if you see something bad happen to somebody on your phone or you read about it, it doesn't have the same visual impact as if you like know about something bad happening, like you actually see, like,
That's true.
yourself, you witness it yourself, right?
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
I feel like people will be detached emotionally from like terrible things that are happening. Like now we see like ISIS like beheading people and like doing all these atrocities, and it's happening so much. You read about it all the time. You're not actually like seeing any of this stuff, that it almost becomes like not like it doesn't matter to you when you see it.
Yeah, what is the word? You become not jaded.
Desensitized.
Yeah, desensitized, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. That's true. Yeah, I
So
can see
think
that.
that's like one of the bigger problems with like always being on the phone. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not one of the biggest offenders of being on my phone. Like I do it rarely because I only do it when I have Wi-Fi itself. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
ever roam and use like data for that. So, and I also I feel like you miss out on stuff that's around you at the same time. Like it's really cool to like find out what's going on all over different parts of the world. Like you have that access right there on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a big part of life is kind of observing what's happening around you, even if you don't necessarily interact with it. I think observing it really enriches your life because you notice things that you might not have noticed, even if you can read about, what fucking basketball players fucking what model on your phone.
Yeah,
It might
exactly.
not be as
24/7,
interesting
yeah.
as seeing something that's happening like right in front of your feet.
Right.
No, I
Well,
mean I agree. I was gonna say
That's a
I
good
agree
point.
too because like I took the girls to Disney, like the Animal Kingdom,
Mhm.
and it was really great. They had their phones, like you see people like the phones taking pictures of stuff and everything like that. Well, they were sitting there doing that, taking pictures, and they're trying to upload stuff and everything. They missed this freaking cool thing that only happens like at that part of the day, because you're just walking in the park, like all these like macaws, like parrots, all different
Oh,
kind
wow.
of beautiful. They all come in like it's almost looks like an air show, like like when all the planes are like all
Oh, yeah.
similar. They all come in, swoop over your head. They do like this almost like weird turn. They come back down and they almost swoop over your head. And the girls, I'm like, girls, look, 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 look. You see the birds there? And they're like, hold on, posting, posting. I'm like, well, you fucking missed it. I'm like, it's over with.
It's over.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, well, like whatever.
So what
Like,
if-
they miss so much stuff because they're in their phones all the time?
What if what you saw is automatically recorded and you can upload into your daughter's brains and you can be, look, you missed this. And then
Well,
they'd be like,
no.
hold on. Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
What if
Oh,
for that generation though, I was wondering if you don't even see it in like live, like in the flesh in the moment, what if it's still just as rewarding when you see it when somebody else that recorded it on their phone, you see it like pop up on your Facebook feed and you get to watch it from there. Like maybe to them that's the same thing as seeing it in real life. Just because they've grown up with this
Right.
technology already,
Yeah.
they're used to
Yeah.
being in,
I don't
connected
know
with their
because
phones.
I've seen the Northern Lights so many times, like on a picture. I think that if I saw it in real life, I think it'd be completely different. Just like
Well-
Rocco, like right now, like when me and Rocco went on the Appalachian Trail, right, and we took a picture like over this canyon, right, and it was so high up, and it was just the smell, the moment, and everything like that. And I'm looking at the picture, and then I'm showing the picture to Amber, and she's like, "Oh, that's cool. That's really cool." I'm like, "No, it's not cool. It's beautiful. Like you should have been there." It was just
Right.
like this picture doesn't describe it at all. I was like 10. I was like, it was like you were high up, and it was just like you could see. I was like, this picture doesn't describe it at all. So I was
That's
just
cool.
saying, like, I don't think that the feeling and the moment and everything is held in a picture. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
Yeah,
Or
that's
video.
fair.
I agree. I mean, I struggle sometimes like lugging around like a camera on like a hike or something because I know it'll take really great pictures, but it doesn't really capture what is great about doing that hike. Like
Yeah.
when people see the picture, they're like, "Oh, that looks cool." Like it might like be a great picture, it might look really cool, the Vista Vista, but people are just looking at it like
Yeah.
at a flat image basically. So they're not
Right.
really seeing anything. They're not getting like what the temperature was like, what sounds you could hear,
The
anything like
breeze.
that. Yeah, the breeze,
Right.
like that is like a huge part of living in the moment or experiencing a moment rather than just looking at a picture being like, oh, that like, yeah, that is a beautiful picture. It totally resonates with me. Like it looks like the lighting is awesome on it or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
not the same as actually feeling like what you feel like when you're doing it.
Yeah, and I'm not one to really like be in my phone. I am king of leaving it places and it dying. So I enjoy just living in the moment there. I don't take many pictures at all. And my wife and I, we went to Hawaii and we went up to the top of the volcano, and that was like one of the coolest things. We took 2 pictures while we were up there, and that was it. We just enjoyed the moment. So. I can see, and what's funny is showing like the few pictures that we had to people. They're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I'm like, "No, like literally, it was insane being up there, And then right after that, we're in like a jungle, pretty much like a rainforest at a waterfall, So I am king of forgetting my phone everywhere, which I kind of enjoy. So.
Ian, we're gonna have to get you a crown.
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention one more thing. One thing that my mom always told me, and I thought this was kind of poignant for what we're saying right now, is she hates like me and my dad do this all the time, and we also used to do it. We always take like landscape pictures when we go like somewhere. We go like on vacation, so not like landscape format, but literally like no people in the picture. We try to get like a cool picture, and that's like what I was saying. Like, oh, it looks really cool, but because there's no person in the picture, when you look back at it, you're not gonna really think about like the memory you had with these people. You know,
Mm.
like having
Yeah.
a person in the picture, I think is like one of the most important things for using a picture for what you probably are going to use it for, which is to remember what you did at some point.
With
Yeah.
with those
With-
people,
with
right?
those
Yeah.
people, right, yeah.
Who you
You're not
experienced
gonna
with.
like look you're like if you had like 10 pictures of a vacation that you did like 30 years ago, when you're 60, or the ones that are going to be most interesting are going to be the only ones that you can see like who you were with. You're going to like pick up if 1 out of 10 is one with a person in it, that's the only one you're probably
Yeah.
gonna like care about when you see.
Mm,
Because
right.
you'll be able to like look at that and then think about what it looked like when you were there without
That's
having landscape pictures.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I never even thought about that. That's so true. Because I mean, people don't hang those pictures, those landscape pictures, just sitting up in their living room. No, it's a picture of you and someone else.
Right.
In that picture.
So what we're really talking about too here is just the fear of losing this human connection and
Yeah.
this like life
I think so.
because of technology just taking over. It's interesting.